In this lesson, I will explain you how you can create new feature file in our project that we have set up. So before we add new feature file, I want to let you know that you need to ensure that these packages are included in your project. These 6 packages are very important. And also another thing that you need to remember is that you should always update your packages. So right now you can see the Sepcflow version that I'm using is 3.3.30, but there were some issues with the Visual Studio on that version, and when I updated that versions for all these packages, then that issue got fixed. So make sure that whatever the packages that you have got, you have to update those packages. So I will briefly explain you how you can do that. So if you go to your project and in the dependencies, in here you can see this update button, or if some package is outdated, it will display the arrow there, and then that way you can see if the package is outdated or not, and then you can update that package. Now in this lesson, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create one feature file with these steps. It is a very simple test. It is a banking related test or scenario where we are checking that given that you have got some amount in the account, say $1,000, and when you withdraw $100, then remaining amount should be $900. So let us add this feature file in our project. For that, go to your Visual Studio project, and then you have to right click on the project, then click on add, and then click on new file. After that, you will see this dialog. Over there you will find this Sepcflow button. If you can't find the Sepcflow options, then that means you have not installed the extensions for the Sepcflow. So make sure that you install the extension, and then you have to click on a Sepcflow feature. Here you have to put the feature file name, say banking, then click on new, and our feature file should be ready. As you can see, the banking.feature file is here, but on the left hand side it is not being shown. Although what it is showing here is .cs file, that is code behind file. Now to show this file here, what you have to do is you have to reload this project. So right click on the project, unload it, and then again reload it. So it's kind of a defect in this Visual Studio format. So you have to just reload the project and your feature file should be available here. And you can see that by default it adds one scenario, or this add 2 number scenario is added by default, but we are not interested in that. What we are interested in our scenario, this one. So what you have to do is just copy and paste this scenario there. So feature is the name of the feature file, and a single feature file can have multiple scenarios. So right now we have just added one scenario here. Feature scenario, these are keywords given, and then these are also keywords, and these are the steps in this scenario, or a test we can call it. Now to view this test, on the right hand side you can see this test unit tests section or panel. If you can't see that, what you have to do is you have to go to view and then click on testing or the test, and then on the right hand side you will see this unit test section. So if you click here, you can see that balance check, this scenario is not being shown here because we haven't rebuilt the project. So before we rebuild the project, here you can notice that I have removed these double quotes from these numbers, because when we create the step definitions, whatever is put into the double quotes is considered as a string, but as we know, these are the numbers, so I have removed those double quotes. And now to rebuild this, just click here and then click on rebuild all, and once this is rebuilt, on the right hand side you will see this feature file, and then the scenario is in there. So you can see balance check, this is the scenario that we are running. Remember that it automatically removes the spaces from the scenario name, and then it is shown like this. And then you can run this particular scenario by just right clicking on that. Note that we haven't added any step definitions, we are just running this scenario, and as expected you can see at the bottom this is showing as inconclusive. The result is inconclusive because we haven't added any assertions or the step definitions. So cool thing about Sepcflow is that it automatically generates the step definitions for you, so you don't have to write any step definitions manually. So as you can see, it has already generated these step definitions which you can copy paste in your class. So I'm gonna create the step definition class here. So just right click on project and then click on add new class, and then there you can put the class name, say bank steps, and then click on new, and here our class is generated. But we have to use the step definitions that were generated just now, so I'm just gonna use that one. So as you can see, the binding, this attribute determines if the class is a step definition class. So all the step definition class should have this binding attribute. And this is required tech.specflow because this binding attribute is in this particular namespace. And this is the class name, so I'm just gonna put bank steps there. And that's it. Our class is ready here. This is the step definition class. It contains all these methods which are mapped to the steps in the scenario. So this is where you will get the given the main balance amount. So I'm gonna create one variable, say int original amount, and then there is a withdraw amount. So here the initial amount is being passed through this variable. You can see P0. So let us initialize this original amount variable is equals to P0, and then we are withdrawing a certain amount. So original amount minus P0. So that means what's happening here is this is gonna be our new amount, because that is the amount that we are gonna withdraw. And here you can do the assertion now. Assert dot. So here you need to add this using unit.framework namespace or equal. Now here the new amount should be equal to P0, that is being passed from this one. So that's it. So that is how you can write the step definitions. So this is our main scenario, and these are the step definitions for that. So new amount is equal to, here you need to do this original amount minus P0. And this is our banking feature file. So now if you run this one, we should get the one passed result. As you can see, passed 1, and that is what we expected. Now to test multiple scenarios, other scenarios, all you can do is just put 2000 there, and now the test should fail because after withdrawing 100 from 2000, the balance should be 1900, but we are saying just 900. So this time test should fail. So that is how you can basically write the tests using Sepcflow. So as you can see, test has failed, and it is saying expected was 1900, but it was 900. So just to revise all this thing, what we did is added this feature file, then we ran this scenario from the test panel and then got the step definitions. But you don't need to do it automatically. You can also do it manually as well. So just create the one class, assign this attribute to that, and then you can write these methods which are mapped to the steps, scenario steps. So remember that we are using these regular expressions there. So you can pass basically any number in there, and then that will be accepted. And also notice that this is automatically converted to the integer. So Sepcflow can determine what kind of data type we are passing from the scenario. And here you can use the assertions. So this assert class is, as you can see, is from the unit.framework namespace. We are using this r=equal method to compare these two variables. So basically that is how you can use this, or write the scenarios and then create the step definitions. Thanks for watching this video.